What's up, wrestling fans? You are tuned in to the Style Breakdown with Cris Style. I'm your host. Hope you guys are having a good day. This is the Wrestlemania 42 recap, night two. I did my night one. That should be dropping. Both of these will be dropping today. I'm doing this one today. I did the other one yesterday. But yeah, this is going to be my recap of night two. Just to let you know, I was in the building for night two. So shout out to all y'all that was in the building for night two. I did get to see WrestleMania live and in person. And I would say the energy was a lot better in the building for night two. Well, I don't know what the energy like was night one, so I wasn't there. But I would say for me, the energy for night two was nice. It was dope. Everybody was, pretty lit up, ready for the matches that was on the card. And yeah, man, it was great, man. I had a great time. The people I was with had a great time, and it was a great experience for night two. Great to be able to experience WrestleMania once again, because I was there last year for night two. But this was no short of how I felt last year. So, but let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. We'll pull this up right here, and this was the card from night two. John Cena comes out once again to say his spiel about night one, give his quick recap of that, and then he talks about how night two should be even better, and how in night two they got to start everything big, and then that's what led us to Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Obafemi comes out first to an explosive crowd. He does the whole entrance thing, the strut. Everybody's into it. Everybody's doing the hoop sound, and yeah, man, it was great, man. It was great. Gets into the ring, then of course Brock Lesnar comes out. He goes all the way around the ring before he gets in the ring, and of course when they do the announcing of the two, of course Paul Heyman has to grab the mic and says, the beast, the real ruler of the ring, Brock Lesnar. You know how Paul Heyman does his thing. And then there's Oba. Then these guys lock horns, and the first few minutes is they lock up. Brock backs up Obafemi, but then he gets pushed, and then well, actually no, it was Obafemi pushing Brock, and then Brock pushes him off of him, and then they turn around and do it again, but this time Brock is pushing Oba, and then Oba pushes him, and then it looks like they're gonna lock arms again, and then Brock, dips, picks him up, puts him in the corner, does the little shoulder tackle thing in the corner, but Oba doesn't sell it. He doesn't sell it at all. Clotheslines him, and then Brock, goes out of the ring. He's frustrated, mad. He picks up the steel steps, but then puts it down because he's real frustrated because he's getting shown up by Oba, and then Oba tries to grab him by his hair. Then Brock, uses the ropes, to pull him down, and then that's where Brock took advantage, throws him to the steel steps, throws him around the stairs, starts kind of beating him up, throws him back in the ring. Them, just toying with a little bit toying and taunting Obafemi. But then eventually Oba gets some momentum going. But then he does his patented shoulder tackles, and does them in the corner. He does it once, and then he tries to do it again. But Brock Lesnar gets him in the F5s him. But Oba doesn't sell it. He's staggering a little bit, but he doesn't sell it. Grabs Brock, does the choke slam. Then he signals fall from grace. 1, 2, 3. Obafemi is your winner of this match. And the crowd goes crazy. And I said it in the crowd. I said if Obafemi doesn't win this match, I think the whole stadium probably would have left. They knew they had to let Obafemi win this match. And I was a little nervous going into WrestleMania 2 because, Obafemi had been getting over on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar really hadn't got nothing over on him. And I was just nervous that, and even the last promo he cut on Monday, like he was the one that was going to beat Brock Lesnar, but they end up pulling the trigger, putting the battery in his back, putting the jet fuel in his back, and Obafemi wins this match. But the surprising thing was what happened after the match. Brock Lesnar is sitting there, looking around the crowd. He takes his gloves off, both of them, throws them in the middle, throws them off to the side, starts unhooking his boots. Next thing you know, he's tearing up, he's crying, and the whole crowd is like, "What? Is he retiring?" Like, we weren't expecting that. The word was is that he was going to retire at SummerSlam, and maybe Gunther was going to be the one to retire Brock Lesnar. But instead, it looks like Brock Lesnar decided that Obafemi was the one he wanted to retire him. So he throws his gloves to the side, throws his boots to the side. You know, he's having an emotional moment. He gets up, he starts waving to the crowd. Paul Heyman comes in, they look at each other, and they give each other a big hug. Brock leads out the ring, and it was kind of weird because they didn't play his music. You would have thought they would have played his music, but it was just silent. You know, that's why I think what made it a little bit more awkward was that when he was leaving the ring, they didn't play his music like one last time. That's why I was kind of like, is he really retiring? But all in all, you know, he shakes hands with the fans, gives everybody high fives, waves off, and then he just leaves, and then they show the boots, and then that was that. Then, and mind you, this is all in the first hour of ESPN. And I know a lot of people were complaining how short the match was, and I get it. You know, you want those two to go at it for at least a good 15 minutes. But I think they just wanted to get it out of the way, get over the win, because these other matches, you know what I'm saying, especially the next match, had to get a little bit more time. So the next up was the ladder match. You had JD McDonough, Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, Dragon Lee, and Penta, who's the IC champion. They all were battling out in a ladder match for the IC belt. And it was, you know, it was pretty cool. Everybody's coming out. You know, Rusev comes out, Dragon Lee comes out, JD McDonough comes out, Javon Evans come out. Ray came out to a huge ovation. Showed that Penta comes out with the Shao Kahn helmet and shoulder, you know, the little shoulder pads, and his entrance was pretty dope. But Rey Mysterio came out with the Deadpool jacket on and stuff, and the look. So you know, Ray's always going to show up for big events. He's going to change his gear. But all in all, it was a great match, great high flying. It wasn't short of anything that I thought it was going to be. It was action packed. It was great. Rusev, he had a moment where he was cleaning the house. Rey Mysterio got his 619 off a few times. Javon Evans did the OG cutter to Rusev off the from the turnbuckle off the ladder. Penta hit JD McDonough with a Canadian destroyer, a Penta destroyer onto the ladder. And then he hit Javon Evans again with the destroyer. Yeah, man, it was just a great match. But all in all, Penta ended up climbing the ladder, getting the IC belt, and he retained the belt, and he is still your intercontinental champion. So shout out to Penta. Like I said, it was a great match. Go check it out. It was dope. Yeah, man, it was one of the better matches of the night. I'll say this. Night 2 was all good. You know what I'm saying? All the matches on here were either great or solid. So this was a great match for sure. One of the better ladder matches I've seen in a long time. So shout out to these gentlemen, man. They had a good showing. Shout out to Penta. Then we have the next match, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Trick Williams, Sami comes out. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, they booing Sami. You know, he's been getting booed a lot lately. Starting to push towards him being a heel. I'm sure that on Saturday or Friday, we'll see a little bit more of that. But Trick comes out. You know, of course, he's been rolling with Little Yachty. Little Yachty comes out, tries to get the crowd hype. Then the lights go out, music hits, everybody singing "Whoop That Trick." He comes down with this robe, like a robe with a like a carpet type thing on the end of it, like looking like a white carpet coming down as he walks down. It's stretched all the way down around the ring. So the energy was high. Um, this was a pretty solid match. Sammy, of course, at first, Trick was getting the best of Sammy, but then Sammy took advantage of some things. He ended up kicking Little Yachty, throwing him into the barricade, and kind of knocking him out a little bit. He was beating up Trick a little bit, doing a lot of heel stuff. Playing that to the crowd, doing some heel stuff. And then he had an opportunity when Trick, he was kind of, the ref was checking on him, looking like see if he was, hurt. Same thing they did with Carmelo Hayes when the ref was checking on him in the corner. Sammy looked like he was about to do the Holoa kick, but then Little Yachty comes out, takes Sammy, chokes him or pulls him down on the ropes, and Trick kind of takes advantage of that. But then, Sammy still gets the upper hand a little bit. And then there was another chance for Sammy to hit the Aloha kick. He does the exploder to the corner. Trick had got off one of his moves too, but then he tried to do his trick shot, but Sammy caught him, did the exploder to the corner, set up for the Aloha kick. Trick does the trick shot. 1, 2, 3, where he pins him. 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams is your new United States champion. So shout out to Trick Williams. He got his WrestleMania moment. He is your new United States champion. And that's what this night was all about. I think it was more about fanfare and, giving the people what they want. You want Over to win? No problem. You want Trick Williams to win? No problem. And, one of the few other matches, they said the same thing. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem. It was only one match I felt like somebody else should have won, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? You want to get the crowd excited. You don't want to piss the crowd off. Night one was not getting good reviews, so we want to just get good reviews for night two. So shout out to Trick Williams. He deserves it, man. He's been busting his ass, since he's been on the roster, and the crowd has loved him. And hey, man, you gotta reward your performers when they get over like that. So shout out to him. Next up, Demon Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio comes out with the luchador mask, a bunch of luchadors with him. He's got the Mexican flag with him. He's waving them. I think he had the American flag too. I'm not sure, but I know he had the Mexican flag and he was waving. Trying to showing love to Mexico. He comes down. Pretty solid entrance, but then the Demon comes, and he smoke. You see the smoke, then you see him crawl out. You got this heart in the middle of the ramp. He's like putting his hands over it. He taps it, then he like awakens, and then that's when the music drops, the original music, and then everybody loves that music. Dun, 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 he does that. Then he's like these streamers start falling down. He's got streamers all over him. Then he sees this like little staff with his head on it. And he's like, poking it at the screen and all that. Then he gets in the ring after doing his entrance, and he does the Demon stuff where he's really not selling for a lot of stuff. This is a street fight, mind you. So these guys, what I'm saying, anything goes. And if this was announced before, I think it was announced before that day of, Dom Mysterio was trying to get out of the match because he said he was supposed to face Finn, not the Demon. And, of course, Adam Pearce disagreed with him, told him that, nope, you are going to be facing the Demon, and now it's going to be a street fight to help you out. So, the Demon, he gets the upper hand, from the beginning, starts, just punishing Dom. Then they get to the outside. Dom gets the upper hand by using the chair, starts beating up the Demon. Then they get back in the ring. Dom gets the chair over Finn Balor does the 619 to him. He tried to do it, or he got it off earlier, tried to do the frog splash, but the demon got up. This time he hits it, but tries to get the pin, but Demon Finn kicks out. Then Demon Finn gets the upper hand, gets Dom Mysterio on the table, does the coup de grace through the table. 1, 2, 3. Demon Finn is the winner. And I think that was the right move. You can't have the demon come back and then lose to Dom Mysterio. So he comes back with the demon character and he gets the pin. It was a pretty solid match, really, really, really entertaining match. But shout out to Demon Finn, shout out to Dom Mysterio. Then you had, you had Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Jade comes out, and then Jade comes down to the ring. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I didn't get to see the entrance. I was, going to give me something to drink. I sat down just in time to watch the match. So I didn't get to see no entrances for these young ladies. So my apologies. But the match was pretty good. It was a back and forth. Of course, Mention and B-Fab got involved in the match. Io Sky comes down to help out. But I would say this was Jade Cargill's best match. And I've said this with Jade Cargill. I don't think it's so much that she's just that bad. I just think that with Jade Cargill, you got to put her in the ring with women who that can make other women look good, but can accentuate the skills that Jade Cargill that knows how to work around the ring, that can help her work faster. There were some spots where you could still see that she was thinking about it. She was moving a little slow. And that's my thing with Jade Cargill. I just think that she thinks too much because she doesn't want to box. She doesn't want to mess up because people have been telling her that she boxes or messes up. So she moves super slow. Her movement is not fluid. So, but outside of that, a few times, I thought she had a really good match with Rhea Ripley. It was highly entertaining. I thought it was a good match. She even hit the One Wing Angel. Shout out to Kenny Omega, showing love to him. But yeah, she hit the One Wing Angel, but of course Rhea kicked out. Then, like I said, B-Fab Mention tried to get involved. Io stopped that real quick. There was a spot where she Io gets on the ropes, on the ramp or on the side, and gets on the ropes, and Jade tries to do her punt kick, but or does kick, and then Io does a flip onto B-Fab and Mention. Then when she turns around, Rhea hits her with the headbutt, tries to get her into the her finisher, but Jade gets out of it, hits her. I think that's when she hit her with the One Wing Angel, or she hit her with a choke slam or something like that. Then picks her up tries to pick her up to do her move. But Rhea slips out, gets under her, grabs her, turns around, does her move. 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley is your new World's Women's Champion, and she is now the champion for SmackDown, so she will be going to SmackDown. Shout out to Jade Cargill. I thought Jade Cargill should have won. I just think that, I thought it would go over well for her. I know it wouldn't go over well with the crowd, but it would have went over well as far as storytelling. And as far as Jade Cargill looking like, oh, I beat Rhea Ripley. You know what I'm saying? And then at Backlash, if you want Rhea to win the belt there, you can have her win the belt there. It didn't even have to, it could have been some shenanigans that happened to help Jade win this match. But she still poses it as, I beat you, I'm better than you. And then Rhea says, and then maybe they have a street fight. I don't know, in Backlash or something. But shout out to Rhea Ripley. I get it. Like I said, fair. They wanted to appease the crowd. They didn't want to piss the crowd off. So shout out to Rhea Ripley. Then we had a segment where John Cena comes out, talks about the attendance for night 2 and night 1, and they combined it. It was like 106 altogether. But then The Miz comes out with Kit Wilson, pretty much tells John Cena, I'm not leaving until I get my WrestleMania moment. When John Cena said, well, fine, go ahead. You got it. It's you. And Miz was a little surprised, and he said, thank you. Moved to the side, Jonathan, watch and learn. Pretty much Miz saying that he's the locker room guy, and that if you need to come under my wing, and I'll teach you how to be a champion, pretty much, or a superstar. Then Danhausen comes out with some little people. Little people was with him, dressed up like Danhausen. They come out, and Miz is talking trash to him. Then Kit Wilson walks up to one of them, pushes them down, tells them they're toxic. The whole crew of little people jump Kit Wilson, beat him up. Then Miz start messing with one, tries to get one, hit one. The ducks down, hits him in the nuts. The Miz gets knocked down. Then Danhausen looks at John to signal for the 5-knuckle shuffle. John Cena gives him his blessing. He says, go ahead. He does it. Does the "you are cursed." It's the fist. And then the little people carry Miz out. And then the funniest part, which made John Cena break, was when Danhausen looks at John Cena, does the "you can't see me," throws the little powder or the little smoke thing down to like disappear, but he was still right at John Cena. He runs under the ring, and he's gone under the ring, and John Cena breaks. He couldn't hold character. He thought it was hilarious. But it was great, man. Danhausen is funny. He had to have a little silly moment. That's what we all wanted. We wanted a John Cena Danhausen moment. And it was great, man. And John Cena even showed love to Danhausen on his social media page, posting his picture. And Danhausen he's going to be a fan favorite, man. The kids are going to love it. Even grown people are going to love it. Because we know Danhausen, that's what he represents. He's the comedic act, just like R-Truth, the comedic act on the show. You need those. You don't need everybody to be serious and I want the world champion and I'm a ruler, all that stuff. That's cool. We got those guys for that. We need our comedy act sometimes too to kind of take us down a little bit because these are high, tense matches and storylines and stuff like that. So it was good to break us down to get us ready for the main event. CM Punk, Roman Reigns. And, John Cena builds it up, says, this is the main event. Here it goes. They do a video package. Roman Reigns, next thing you see these Roman, like, empire type little, stable things. Instantly I knew it was Roman. Then they had the guys who was on the Tums. You had to do it on the piano playing. Then, they played the original OG Roman Reigns music. He comes down looking ready to go. Comes down with the white and gold pants and Jordans, and he gets in the ring. Then they do a video package for CM Punk showing all his stuff from the Indies coming up. They show Vegas, and then he's sitting on top in his padded Indian style with the belt on the shoulder, looking to the camera. He's on top of Allegiant Stadium. It was a dope spot. He comes out quiet. It's quiet, no music playing. He comes out to the ramp, does his padding kneel down, fills the ramp, does his padding. It's clobbering time. His music hits. Coda Poston personality hits. The whole crowd is feeling it. We love that song, even if we're not really, pulling for CM Punk. I was going for Roman Reigns in this match, but it was still a dope entrance. He gets in the ring, they do their entrances, their introductions. And then all of a sudden they get into it. In the first few minutes, they're going back and forth. They're trying to one up each other. CM Punk gets one up on Roman. They say, Roman gets one up on CM Punk. And then Roman start, it's a good back and forth. One gets one on the other. And then they go to the outside. Now, this is the part I didn't get. There was a spot where Roman is outside. He's getting the better of CM Punk. And he got him like hanging over the side of the ring. He picks up the stairs and just hits CM Punk with it. And I'm looking at my boy and I'm like, ain't that supposed to be a disqualification? Like, I didn't know we were supposed to be using object. This wasn't a no DQ. This wasn't a street fight, and yeah, they just let it rock. It was like whatever. Okay, you're Roman Reigns. You can do whatever you want. I was like, all right, fine. But it was just funny that they just let Roman get that off. But outside of that, it was a good match. CM Punk, he gets, there was one part where he gets over on Roman. I think he signaled to hit the elbow on the outside, and he finally hit the elbow on the table. Gets Roman in the ring, does his GTS. Roman falls against the ropes, falls right back in place. CM Punk tries to do it again. He falls down, couldn't get it. Then Roman hits him with the spear, but CM Punk is still not giving up. He's scratching, he's clawing. Roman bounces off the ropes, bounces again, hits the spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is your new world heavyweight champion. The crowd going crazy. And yeah, man, Roman Reigns is your new champion, man. He got it done. And I said that he had to win this match because the whole story of this match is, can Roman do this without his family? And that was really the baseline of this storyline of CM Punk saying that Roman can't do it on his own. He can't do it without his cousins. He can't do it without his family. He's a Nepo baby. Everything's been propped up. He's manufactured. He can't do nothing on his own. So, and he proved that he could do it on his own, and he beat CM Punk and got the W. And shout out to CM Punk, shout out to Roman Reigns. This was a great match, man. Really, really, really good match. One of the better matches I've seen in a long time in the main event. This was really, really good, man. And these guys put on a great performance. They have great chemistry. And man, I loved it, man. And it led to what happened on Monday. It happened on Monday Night Raw. My Monday Night Raw recap will drop tomorrow. But shout out to these gentlemen, man. They put it on for us, and man, it was nothing short of greatness, man. So yeah, man. And that does it. That's my recap for night 2. Hope you guys enjoyed my recap. I tried to get through it as much best as I could. You're trying to remember everything that happened. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to these gentlemen, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like the page, share with your friends, man, because I need y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man, because like I said, there's so many other wrestling content creators out there that you could be listening to, but you chose to listen to my recap, and I appreciate that. So until next time, wrestling fans, I'm out.